there! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hi! Oh, I'm so happy to be at the end finally, woohoo! This'll be fun. Can't wait to see all the good stuff at the end. And now let's see how this be. So let's see, those left behind, some jeer, some are in awe, some dance in joy, some spend the night sleepless. I would be spending the night sleepless, just because that's me, that's how I be sometimes. A coastal view that one can see anywhere in Iberia. Rubble close by indicates the place may have once been a prosperous village, but now, only a solitary wind chime left hanging on a wall echoes the waves as they hit the shore. I did not expect sea terrors to make their appearance, but that's fun. Bewildered slithering sounds. A wave washes a sea terror onto the beach. No, perhaps, it might have followed the wave to dry land. Whatever it was, it didn't seem to have a goal in mind. It merely wanders, looks around, just like its brethren do. It shouldn't have found anything. All I can see while standing in this overgrowth is the endless ocean in the sky. But in the next moment, as if it had sensed something, it looks towards a certain direction. The never-changing sky is swept by a wave of ripples. Doubtful growling. What's my recap for the last stream? Kristen did the thing! It looks in that direction, but there is only an endless sky. Soon after, its compatriots arrive, its kin, its wee many. All their eyes look towards the same direction. They're like, ooh, pretty, pretty sky. As an attendant apologizes to the proprietor, he props up his master, a court musician, and helps him leave the bar.
Mind her. You shouldn't drink anymore. Don't get in my way. I can't figure out a tune, so I might as well just drink myself to death. Ugh, mind her. Didn't you draft several pages yesterday? I think this third song is honestly not bad at all.
Ooh, hello.
Heh heh, at least you know me well. But 9, this will not do. It's not good enough. There is still something missing. A key ingredient. Do you understand? A kind of psychedelic yet magnificent. An image of madness. Of course, I understand you completely. You're always chasing this kind of work. Huh? Oh, I must really be drunk. What's wrong? I saw waves streaking across the horizon. Waves? I should take you to a doctor. What is that?
The attendant lifts his head towards the sky to see halo-like waves sweep across the night.
This is... Could have someone gotten secondhand intoxication through the air?
The star pod barrier? If it's man-made or one of the world structures? I feel like it's probably man-made. Like heck, if the world was going poof a while ago, but then it was stopped thanks to the barrier, then uh-oh.
Ha! Ha ha! The clouds are like waves, and the sky's a curtain. Gut, Sir Gut. Theron, go quick! Take me home! No, hand me a pen, quickly! Here. Have you found some inspiration? Inspiration? No. What I discovered is a wellspring.
Under the dim street lights, the musician lies down on the floor on his stomach, writing in a frantic pace without a care for his image. Tonight, many an artist slept nary a wink. The artists are happy.
Take a gander at this happy lot. They think the storm is already over, and Victoria merely had a little hiccup. Whatever they possess is still intact, and will continue to remain as is. How I wish I could share their optimism. Sir, there's something I need you to see. What happened? You're not the sort of killjoy at I mean, you're not the sort to be a killjoy at a time like this. It seems something has happened in Colombia. Seems? Yes, we are urgently collecting information at the moment. Has a rebellious child again done something incomprehensible with the science and technology they're so overly proud of? That is yet to be determined, but at present, I can confirm that this is information you must know. Just how important is this matter that I have to be proactive instead of waiting for you to bring it to me? It is honestly beyond the scope of my abilities.
The Count realizes the bitter smile on his trusted subordinate's face, and this shifts his originally joking mood to one of surprise. His officer only knows to tell the truth, and this means that something has indeed happened. The Count walks to the window and immediately realized why his subordinate was at a loss for words. That was information physically impossible to be brought before him, but also a reality that no one could ignore.
What sort of natural phenomenon is this? We immediately hired experts relevant to the field, and combined with the information from Colombia over the past few days, they proposed some valuable theories. Site 359, Spy Dossier. Investigation report on the Mainlander Foundation. And what are these academic papers? A barrier. Tell me the key points of note. This layer of ripples has originated from Colombia and is extremely unnatural.
I like how this guy just be like, yo, give me the short version of this, please. Give me like a little summary. I understand. I don't like reading a lot either, not gonna lie. I don't usually read stuff unless there's pictures. And if there's no pictures, I'm not happy.
After conducting some simple observations, we believe that the findings align perfectly with a long-forgotten theory in the world of science. The sky above our heads is indeed false. Something has happened.
This happens in 1999, so every event that we do know has a sky open for years to come? That is fun.
And we know nothing about it. We've already mobilized all of our spies in Colombia, and they will soon bring us results. Spare no expense. I want an answer before tomorrow morning to bring to the Duke of Normandy. Yes, sir. My lord, I would like to introduce my distant nephew to you. Tonight's banquet ends here and now. Eh? The Count needs his peace and quiet now, so please return home, Viscount. Very well.
The Count looks at the distant sky without saying a word. Tonight, conspiracies hatch in alleys, while countless politicians toss and turn in their beds. Warning. Energy overload. Energy overload. Shockwaves in the energy surplus have impacted the entirety of HAM-HRR. Secondary disengagement protocol acceleration complete. All secondary cabins, mounting devices, and external energy lines have been separated from the Galleria Stellaria's main body. All personnel, evacuate via the escape pod and execute return protocol. Repeat. All personnel, execute via the escape pod and execute return protocol. How strong am I? Depends. Depends on the day, the time, the weather.
This goddamn weightlessness. Couldn't they have made the escape pod just a bit smaller? Not the size of an entire room.
I prefer a bigger escape pod than a tiny one.
Quick, get that self-bouncing system up and running. We gotta stabilize this room first, at the very least. My bones are about to shatter from being tossed around like marbles in a box. I know, I'm working on it. I hate manually disengaging lock mechanisms so much, especially in times like these. Phew, alright. It's stable. Now to check the return protocol. The Drogan pilot parachutes have been launched. Landing trajectory is on auto-adjust. If you look up, there's still time to bid your farewells to control. Hey, Bullet. Look at the corridor. Isn't that Director Mulsis? Director Mule says, get in quick. There's still seats. You should have clearance to enter.
This is the escape pod?
The escape pod has existed since the very beginning of Arc 01's design phase, and we ran several rounds of navigation and pressure tests before, so don't worry.
You're Claude, right? I remember you. You've all been in the component's control for many, many years.
Before HRR took flight, Kristen disbanded the Rhine Lab Components Control Section. The last job she assigned to us was to assist the energy charging and focusing. All calibration, maintenance, and security tasks have already been completed. When we return to the ground, we'll all get new contracts, leave Rhine, and leave Trimount. Oh, right.
What's this?
A remote sensor recorder. It provides real-time feedback from the biological data from the vivarium. Control said it would be helpful to you, so I was going to send it over to Ecological once I got back on the ground. The data was just updated. I'm really sorry.
Wait, don't tell me right away! Not so fast. This is... How many years did it take? Go.
In the short span of time after Galeria Stellario broke through the barrier, the death rate of the 753 plants has exceeded 90%. The rest aren't expected to survive.
Haha. Kristen, what exactly does it look like beyond the star pod? You're fully aware of sharing the same possible fate, and yet you're unwilling to call off your trip? You've kept your promise to us all, but did you plan on traveling solo from the very beginning? Then Saria, she...
Wait, the acceleration is still increasing. Our descent speed hasn't slowed at all. We're falling even faster than before. What's going on, Bullet? The shockwave from the energy overload must have messed up the return protocol. I can't reverse it. Both parachutes have failed, and the self-balancing system is about to malfunction. Wait, isn't this equipped with gravity-related Originium Arts module? Find the Arts unit, quickly! Alright. Right. But the current high temps and energy shock from earlier have fried the third of the modules. Current height, 3,454.7 meters. There's no stopping it. I hate not being able to jump out of the pod right now to lighten it. The heat insulation layer, the speed's too fast, and the escape pod's layer is about to burn through completely. The damage rate is at 60%. The walls are forming. It'll disintegrate at this rate. Oh. Bullet? Son of a bitch. Couldn't you have passed out after installing the arts unit? How can this be? All return to ground structures have gone through several rounds of testing.
There's no simulation that can reproduce a passenger cabin returning to the ground from maximum height. Science requires first-hand verification, and that's what we're doing right now.
We should head to the inner cabin ASAP. The seats are cushioned there, and they're oxygen masks. We might just...
At this rate, we'll hit the ground in a minute. No one's gonna survive.
Shit. I don't even have time to record a final video message.
Are there people waiting for you? The tremendous centrifugal force throws Claude against the corridor's bulkhead. His face is pressed against the glass, and he sees a small, shiny spike. No, it is a person, a figure tightly bound in thick layers of calcium. He confirms what he is seeing, but this means that the opposite figure is falling at the same speed as them, and maybe even faster.
Director Saria? She's probably passed out. At such a height, even the thickest calcium becomes a fragile layer of eggshell, and she herself doesn't even thicker than it. Damn it.
Water. A vast body of water. Water seeps in the escape pod's bulkhead, stretching in midair like a living organism. The escape pod is falling at high speed, and a large river of water is being towed by gravity and vaporizing, but several thick walls still manage to form in the direction Saria is falling. Claude feels like he's seeing a lake without a shore or lake bed. He looks at it from the bottom, and the waves are folding in layers as they sway over his head. If he wasn't currently busy trying to save himself, he feels as if he must follow and learn from the Ursus poets on how to look for the right words to describe the scene in front of him. Water also rises in the cabin, and he is pushed back in the interior.
Director Mulsis, you're melting?
Saria, I guess you did end up fighting with Kristen after all. So even you couldn't stop her. In the end, we couldn't do anything. These water barriers can give you somewhat of a buffer, so if you can, I hope you live. Shucks, I probably look real ugly like this. But if I could go back and have this level of determination to pump all the water out of me right now, could I have changed a lot of things? The water gently envelops everything in its body. All components, control employees, prepare for impact. Hold your breath. It's easy to choke when you're submerged in water. Go and meet the people waiting for you. Ooh, she's protecting all of them. Good job, Mumu. The first New Year's Eve after the founding of Rhine Lab. Before the show ended, did they actually dance together? A dance of 3? She has kind of forgotten. Crash. Saria, what did you see? Just the sky. That's right, the sky. I sat in the stump as a kid, watching my parents test flight after flight from the hill in front of us. Later, they brought me along. As they died, I never came back here until now. You're the first. And that's why you hate the sky? If I were 10 now, having witnessed everyone's reaction to their deaths and just finished going through their belongings, I would tell you, yes. But that's not my current answer in mind. Worries, pressure, questions, derision, and bills from corporate and government sectors. These factors didn't hold my parents back, so they're not even worth mentioning. All the way, my parents staunchly advanced towards their goals, and they only lost to themselves in the end. If the journey is destined to end prematurely, then I too will willingly die on the way there. Don't say anything that ominous. Can I succeed? I don't know, but I'm set on doing it. I inherited everything from my parents, and I've even gone further than they did. Kristen, Saria, I'm not asking anything from you. I'm just sharing some past events with my best friend. I understand. So any thoughts? Weren't you merely sharing your story? Oh, you're such a burden beast. Say something at least. The sky is really beautiful. She knows that no one has even seen the view at such high altitude from such a position, and that the Galaris Stellaria is getting further and further away from her, but she cannot open her eyes. She is falling at high speed. There's small distortions in the star pod around the sky. Like, is it on the screen right now? Because I can't really tell. To me, it looks like clouds. The wind howls, scraping against her face like a knife, and the cold, thin air rushes into her nasal cavities, making breathing difficult. Raw calcium accumulates in a frenzy, forming a thick crystalline layer around her body, so as to prevent her from dying from the violent air friction, but she cannot do anything about the impact when she lands. It was already over. The vertigo from weightlessness hits her, and no matter how hard she resists, she loses consciousness. Falling thousands of meters from the sky obviously only takes a few minutes, but why is it taking so long to experience death? She vaguely senses herself falling into the surface of water, her speed somewhat slowing down, and afterwards, amidst a burst of mechanical buzzing, it feels like as if she has fallen into the clouds again. How soft it was. Saria, Saria. It sounds like someone is calling for her, a familiar voice. Don't say anything yet. Eye movement response normal. There should be local internal bleeding, but cardiopulmonary functions are normal. The impact caused multiple external injuries, a slightly torn flexor tendon in the left leg. I'll apply a temporary treatment in the affected area. Fortunately, there isn't any serious damage to your bodily functions, but when you return to Tri-Mounts, you need to undergo a comprehensive medical exam. Saria, do you have a headache? I'm fine. Good. I crushed your drone, and these air cushions. It's fine. Where's Ifrit? Is she not with you? She joined the search and rescue efforts too, so she should be nearby. Let's go meet up with her. Can you stand? Come, I'll help you up. Silence. Thanks. And they've officially made up. The clouds have parted. And now we can get an even more clearer view of the sky. Yes, the sky is really beautiful. Are you not going to ask your question? Ask what? What happened in the Galleria Stellaria? Would you tell me? I'll need some time. Then, do you want to know? Know what? What happened down here when you went to stop Kristen? Will you tell me? I will. I need to know everything. Likewise, Saria. I need you to be fully informed, to be better prepared. This is the only way we can ensure that we won't make any missteps in the road ahead of us. It sounds like you already have an idea. Hold on to my shoulder. The road is hard to walk on. The road is hard to walk, and I have no way of lifting you up completely, so we have to go together.
Claude, Benji, Johan, Bullet?
The escape pod makes a deep hole in the ground, and the hatch flies out, smashing a boulder into pieces. The inner cabin is completely warped, the infrastructure and equipment looking as if they were wrung out by a pair of hands.
I'm over here. What a relief, you're alright. I'm alive? Wasn't the escape pod malfunctioning? We dropped from an altitude of over 5,000 meters, and we're still alive! Phew. Youch, easy on the hug, it hurts. It seems like those arts modules managed to help us decelerate a little after all. Don't get cocky now, Bullet. You know, you're the luckiest one out of all of us here, hitting your head on the console and passing out at our most critical moment, and then waking up just as we landed safely. Must have been Annie's peers working on you, huh? Aren't you guys getting married next year? Hey. Why did I feel like I drowned earlier? And all of you are soaking wet too. It's not like the pod landed in a lake, so what even happened? Have you guys seen Director Miosis?
Water is still flowing out of the bulkhead connected to the escape pod, but there is no mud in the area. The night breeze will soon dry up the earth. Yeah, pretty much. This event did not really have any casualties. Like, Parvis is fine. He's with Kristen. They're just enjoying their life in outer space.
Cal. Dame Kelsey. I must admit that we are alike. My empathy with Dr. Misaki Nobunaga's emotions merely comes from an emotional module that is yet to be erased, even after all these tens of thousands of years. I'm not Kristen himself, merely a tool that was made. But you are more flesh and blood than I am. With more freedom, this makes me feel a little envious. Any words of comfort will sound like I'm belittling your mission, Kristen. I'm glad to have a life like this, and not just this one. I'm glad that I'm not just a simple machine. I've already been searching for the original answer from the very moment I began my walk in the dust of disappointment. I have experienced more direct losses than you have, but I can also say that I have gained even more in return. If everything here has yet to happen,
You might even have been able to travel through the land currently known as Terra, just like Dr. Misaki did once. If there is a chance, I'd be happy to take it. I have a request. You're the only one who knows how to operate the system, so I would like you to erase these twisted data spanning 4,765,403 days. That's a long time. Keep only my emotions and my original memories. Let me die as Trevor Friston, even if I can only die as a replica. I understand your decision, but this process will take a lot of time, and you will gradually slide into despair in the process. This is too cruel a fate for you. I wish you faced the skies that were once free, but not as a lofty judge in an ivory tower, nor as a ghost. At least, let me face the remorse and guilt I have as a person, from sending my compatriots to their doom with my own hands. Let me, at the very least, see from a purist perspective how you will face the future. To think of the sky, that is my final wish. You don't have to blame yourself like that. This is closer to redemption than continuing to be tormented for eternity. You don't have to blame yourself like that. Thank you. You might call this arrogance, and I must say this nonetheless. The weight of life, the weight of civilization, you can't possibly even begin to imagine how heavy it is right now. No one has the capability to decide for others what the value of their lives are. This belongs to the past, and so I will not go too deep into it. But please remember this, Dr. Misaki. This will sooner or later become the multiple choice question about the present, and will be extremely important to you. But presently, I'll say this again, thank you. This is the final thing I can say. Go, Kelsey. I've already granted all privileges. Let me meet my end as a person. I respect your decision. Please wait just a moment. Kelsey, is there no other choice? Doctor. The doctor that knows nothing. I don't know how much you know, how much Kelsey has told you, but now, before I lose all this data, let me answer your questions. Kristen also asked me innumerable questions, and I answered them all. And if it was necessary, I even showed her the answers. After witnessing everything with her own eyes, she did not lose herself. Her ideals did not even waver in the slightest. And she did not see her own existence as inferior thereafter. I admire that character of hers, and so to be fair, I will also treat you the same, Dr. Misaki. Oh, cute! He's gonna treat me the same as Kristen. That's saying a lot because everyone loves Kristen. Well, I feel like Tristan probably thinks I did all I wanted to do, you know? I'm gonna go out now on my own terms. Understandable. Perhaps this personality of obsession is also a present from Trevor Friston. Who is Priestess? And what is Originium? These two questions are not as different as you might imagine. Originium. Even if you lost your memories, even if you've just learned it far exceeds the categories of the infected, catastrophes, or arts, you are still keenly aware of how important Originium is. That is the way to go. Kelsey knows some answers, but I think she won't be able to tell you. Priestess will not allow her to. This restriction is carved into the depths of her original consciousness, and even death will not free her from those shackles. So, should I really tell you the answer? Perhaps Kelsey is afraid that the truth might loosen your memories and turn the tables on your hard-earned developments. Though I believe you have already done some preparations on your end. I can give you the answer, but not in its entirety. Fine, Preserver, whatever. Tell me, like, the short version. I don't even know what your past was like. My birth in isolation from the outside world happened far earlier than you think. Originium was just one of the many innumerable answers. Originium means unification. Originium means another state of existence. Like the ocean of Solaris, where everything exists within disorder.
Oh yes. You've yet to even realize the contradiction of it all. So far, Rhodes Island has been working towards curing neuropathy and solving the problems of the infected. Though you've also involved yourself in outsider matters due to Kelsey and Teresa's ideals. However, you and the names of Rhodes Island fight against Originium. This is the root of everything. I do not know what decisions Priestess has made in the end, but it seems like Kelsey, with all the lives born on this land with free will, has no way to peacefully coexist with Originium. Originium can benefit humanity, but it can also destroy everything, just like the frenzied creatures in the ocean and the endlessly expanding rift in the north. Priestess is a starting point of that madness, and you were once extremely close to her.
Priestess, are you my other ex-wife? Oh no! So we can cure neuropathy? What does Originium have to do with me? Then what can I do next? Well, what does Originium have to do with me?
I'm incapable of guiding your next steps. Strictly speaking, Originium is just its current form. It has already exceeded my understanding of it. Neuropathy is not something that was carefully planned and produced. In your current situation, curing it is difficult, but there may be other ways you can stop or use it. Your past with Priestess seems to be Kelsey's greatest taboo, and I don't even have the full picture. According to my hypotheses, your appearance, participation, and amnesia, they are not without purpose. You have to find your own answers. Don't blame me for being so cryptic with my words, but sooner or later, when you face the truth of the past, you will understand Kelsey's thoughtful intentions.
Would I make a priestess just based on how she's giving Kelsey some taboos? Well, priestess is like a strict mama to Kelsey then in that case. Which is kind of understandable.
Stay patient. Stay true to yourself. Doctor.
Kelsey.
You've already taken a huge step forward. But turn your head and look at what we faced. Victoria, Colombia, the infected are still being discriminated against, and the flames of war might just spark in any place in Terra at any time. We still have much more to do. There will be more and more layers of crises in the future, and the current situation will become even more worrisome.
Right. We'll fight together, right?
You're the commander of Rhodes Island, the Dr. Amiya trusts. We will find a way. I'm delighted to have met you both in my final moments. I can already feel some data slipping away. I might even forget our conversation in just a few seconds. Having lost the support of your database, your emotional module once again re-experienced the loneliness of the past dozen millennia. No one knows what the consequences will be to compress all those years of emotion into just a few minutes. I will destroy this bunker before the energy is depleted. You will need to escape in time. Thank you both. Drowsy.
Unnatural sound. Are you alright? Do you remember me? Are you alright, my dude? You're snoring.
Unknown language. You? A living creature? Here? You must... Wait. Why is it so dark here? I'm in...
Natural sound.
Too long. Too dark. No. There's still 173,000 and fifth attempt. And the next. The next time. Can anyone hear me? Answer me. Please. Where am I?
I can't bear to hear any more of this. Well, how much longer do we have to wait? Can we go now? How do I feel about my first and last encounter with Frist and Trevor of my kin? Like, me personally, I'm just like, eh. Like, heck, It reminds me of when I go to family reunions kind of stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know any of you people. Like, okay, whatever, we're related, but it's like, sure, you can tell me about your life, but doesn't mean I'm necessarily gonna like bond with you. It's like whatever's. Like Friston, you just to me. I don't know. There's no way for us outsiders to judge if these cries of anguish are memories from his past, or the emotional module responding to the stress of processing all that compressed emotion. I only feel pity and respect. Kelsey, have you experienced this before? Rhodes Island is with you. Have you experienced this before? Unnatural sound. I hate this, damn it! Why must I suffer this torture? Why must it be me? Even if they all come back to life, I myself won't be a living person. I made such a great sacrifice, and yet you've all abandoned me. Who is it that gave me such a duty? Unnatural sound. It was myself. Why? Is that me? Can I still recall that determination? Doctor, you should stop watching. Leaving now is the final act of respect we can give him. We have to find the exit.
Madam, over here. I knew something had happened underground when the cave collapsed.
Let's leave this place first. Is this the man-made passage left behind by Kristen?
Yes, I reckon it will lead us to the SHAFT. Only heaven knows why the army never discovered the secret path.
Seems like Tin Man probably won the fight against Hoheak. If the Preserver had not shut down its system, it would have been impossible for you to find this passage. What happened to Hoheak?
I have her trapped outside, and Maylana will have a nice long chat with her later. Madam, I need to know.
There was nothing there other than the old man marching towards death. And as for what those deaths mean, I can only say that they have absolutely nothing to do with Kasdel.
I shall not pry any further, unless a certain matter prompts me to. Walk this way.
Okay. Let's go get our extra cheesy dogs together. A natural sound.
I am Trevor Friston. What has happened? What have I become? Who turned off the lights? I should report that punk to the... I failed, haven't I? After how many years? How many years has it been?
I like how he said she was trapped outside. Well...
That damn tin can. Huh, at least. He hasn't decided to drain my blood dry yet. Where am I? Who are you? What are you? What are you talking about? Why do you have a tail and the feathers on your head? It's not an accessory or a weird fashion trend either. Just what sort of place am I in? These are sarcophagi, hundreds and thousands of them. Kristen, oh Kristen, so this is the god you spoke of? Pretty different from what I imagined. He looks, very sleek. Greetings. If this is indeed the courtyard full of oracles, the destruction of charity, can you install on me wings from the blood of the Kuokoken? Can you show me their wind and thunder, the glory of soaring through the skies, their magnificent forms? I come to you bringing 451 years of obsession from the Kuokoken people, only for your approval and your answer. So that's how it is. I'm starting to understand. My existence is fading away. I am dying. Well, this sure sounds like something a bastard like me would do.
Don't you think it's too stuffy here for a place deemed a destination? It's too stifling. I've hated bunkers ever since I was little. I thought, why not hide within an asteroid belt instead? Sorry, Hoheak, you came a little bit too late. If you came here like a few minutes earlier, then you might have gotten your answers, but nah. What will I become? My knowledge, my desires, will they disappear into the thin air as I gain power? If you would be willing to speak in a language I understand, God? Well, I have no idea what kind of creature you are. I don't even know what the sounds you are making mean. But in a dying old man's final vision, you are on the true path, yes. I so badly want to see her one more time, my morning light. Yeah, it's probably her lowest point, but it's okay. She can only go for it, like up from here. An icy wind blows over Hoheak without traces of any dust. In the blink of an eye, she finds herself in the wilderness. A hallucination? Arts? What kind of originium arts is this? This is how that crazy god has given her his answer? Hoheak looks around in all directions and does not find anything matching what she had in mind. She only sees a pair of father and daughter playing by the water, and the girl sporting long and familiar locks of pale gold. A girl who looks a lot like Kristen. Hoheak waits patiently. She expects this boring and realistic scene to change, but nothing happens. She is devout enough, but nothing in front of her changes. So what does this actually all mean? Please don't waste my time. There is no response. Hoheak is starting to feel wary. She tries to get closer to the pair, but to no avail, failing to identify their faces. Until the father picks his daughter up, and they look towards the sky. Only now does Hoheak discover, in the view that she'd gotten too familiar with, that there is something not even Kristen's wildest descriptions had mentioned. She sees a gigantic, enormous moon. For just a moment, the ground under her feet no longer feels real. The surrounding temperature seems to rise. Hoheak stares right at the instrument, and the fluid glimpse leaves her no room to think. But a preposterous thought appears in her mind. Was that Terra? What was it just now? What did you do? Is this arts? No. Is it a Fairmont's power? Or witchcraft like the Tin Man's? Silence. Hoheak is completely unaware that she is the only one who has left that beautiful dreamland. Huh. If this is what Kristen saw, then what she said was completely right. Kristen right. You really do invite jealousy. This is the enlightenment that your god has left me. How cruel of you all, denying me my pursuits my entire life, from my birth till now. And after denying everything, God has fallen silent. No, I don't approve. I won't allow it. You can't die just yet.
So you failed to stop Kristen. I already know what happened up there.
I almost forgot we came here to stop her. That first one I love. Too many things had happened. My head is hurting a little. I almost forgot we came here to stop her. I was rooting for her.
I'm very sorry about that. I need to formally enter negotiations with the Mayliner Foundation. I'll explain later. I'm also very curious about what exactly has happened in Trimounts. We're almost there, remember, Dame Kelsey. The moment we arrive at SHAFT, we are no longer simple collaborators. If you do not cooperate with us, I will have to resort to force.
Sullen crowing.
As you wish. What's with all the tension?
If I kill this tin can again, I can still learn a little something.
When did you? Should the other agents have caught you by now?
That's not important, but I think it's best for none of us to act rashly now. Don't mess the situation up. What are you up to? You're not exactly breathing deeply either. What are you up to? I'm real curious, Doctor. The lineage of the elders, the Kuokoken's source of power. Are these things even considered secrets to you and Kelsey? I'm not sure about Kelsey, but me, nah, I got amnesia. No comment. Don't bother me. Don't bother me. Well, no comment, I guess. Uh-huh. How cold. There is something I want to understand. The entire course of my quest has been invaluable. And yet after finding the answer, people only know to sing its praises. If after resolutely trampling on a dry and dull answer, if I wish to continue searching for the future, can I come find you people? You should first face the changes from the Mainlander Foundation. Figure out how to deal with your boss first. And then you can come to me. Of course, I won't show up empty-handed. You won't be able to guess what I retrieved from hell. Your staff? What have you done? Your unusual arts can store memories. Could it be that you... Perhaps I rescued a god that almost succumbed to dementia, but in the end, is not even considered a living being, and it's too difficult for me alone to help it recover. So perhaps you can help me, since you might not want these things to fall into Colombians' hands. You want to drive a wedge between us and the Mainlander Foundation? Is it appropriate to say this right in front of the Tin Man? Yeah, is it appropriate to say this, ma'am? I've already found it. I've already brought it out into the open, and the Tin Man has seen it too. Do you even still have a choice to make? And no matter what you think of it, Dame Kelsey's face already looks like she agrees. Kelsey? Do I consider Cal OP? Of course she is! She's immortal, and Monster is super badass. Heck, she's so great to use. Like, I gotta keep her on my team for the most part, because she is pretty OP. So many dots. My guess is, you don't have the right to call the shots here, Tin Man. Oh? The reason why you haven't looked into this underground at all yet is because someone above you has already made a decision for you. For that person has enough foresight to guess everything that has happened here.
Even if the power to make decisions isn't with me right now, I still think killing Hoheok to retrieve his legacy is the more reasonable thing to do.
About that, your boss should also know just which party has the capability to restore him. Snatching Hoheok's arts units will only add to the gigantic pile of the Mainlander Historical Association's archaeological discoveries. That one will not allow Mainlander to act against Rhodes Island. Your coercing efforts also fall flat, Hoheok. You can only hand it over to me, or I will hand you over to the Tin Man. Taunting growl. Such a horrid, oppressive feeling. So you've even been keeping this strange thing by your side. It's meaningless to fight here, so let's all return to Trimon's first. After that, we can negotiate in the open.
It's right in front of us. We can go from here.
Kelsey, let's keep her. Come on, Hoheok. It took forever for me to summon her, Kelsey.
Sure is relieving to leave this place. Wait, the thing in the sky!
A clear view of the torrent sky can be seen through the tunnel leading to the SHAFT. Kristen. Humanity will reach this step sooner or later. Kristen. I hope you don't bring us disaster in Terra's name.
More or less. I see you then. Your guess was right, madam. I will take my leave for the moment. I'll be outside waiting. Hoheak.
What? You're leaving already?
I didn't expect that bargaining chip in your hand. But this is also your final chance. Hand over the thing you've got from below.
I'm so very sorry, Mr. Tin Can, but I've lost all interest in the Mainlander Historical Association's history. Now then, Doctor. An arts unit? Why did you give it to me now?
Remember the choice you've made. We're not on equal standing, madam. An openly honest negotiation may not be in the cards.
Why did the Tin Man leave early? We were supposed to get our extra cheesy cheese dogs together.
Contact Rosmantis ASAP. We need to be wary of any other surprises. Hoheak, I'm grateful for your choice, but I need you to try and find a different escape route than the direction the Tin Man left.
What? I'm not so sure I'll be able to defeat this black plaything of yours.
I'm not being wary of you, but rather, I want to make sure there's another way out.
Gosh, I didn't even sign an employment contract, but I have to start work already?
Rhodes Island couldn't possibly leave you alone to your own devices the moment you handed over the data to us in front of the Tin Man, could we?
What's up ahead?
I'm sure you can guess.
I suppose I can. I'll find another way up. Do make sure that when we leave here, we're not greeted by an armored division. At this point, yeah, Tin Man might be my enemy, but it's okay. It's for work. It's nothing personal. It's quiet. In the aftermath of those unfathomable energy waves tearing through the skies, the facility that should be full of scientists, soldiers, and workers is now completely empty. You and Kelsey travel between these structures without exchanging a single word. There's so much information to go through, and so much history. Perhaps only after seeing the smiles of Ifrit and Rosmontes, and hearing some firm words from Sari again, will you only feel at ease. But a discomforting feeling lingers in your mind. Light flashes across the edge of your peripheral vision. Wait, Kelsey! What is this on the screens?
Nice to meet you two, Director of Rhodes Island, Dame Kelsey. We've taken over this facility. Every screen and all the surveillance equipment will expose your whereabouts. So please do not attempt escape. On behalf of the Colombian government, I hope to hold an ad hoc private meeting with the both of you. This might have happened earlier than you expected, but I just want to get on with it. I won't wait any longer.
In the dimly lit building, the lights of a large screen flickers a few times, and then a familiar figure appears. Oh, it's the Vice President. The second in command of the fledgling country's leader is in no hurry to speak. He only faces you with that iconic smile of his. You start wondering. You feel some kind of pressure. Soon after, you cannot help yourself from turning your attention onto the pet, perched on the shoulder all along. The bird is the best. Boop. You sneak a glance at Kelsey. There's an obvious, somewhat gloomy expression on her face.
Mr. President.
The Vice President does not react, but his pet just happens to begin talking.
Been a long time, Dame Kelsey. How long has it been since we've had a conversation like this? After that little thing you and Mainlander put together.
Birds are the most powerful beings in this place. There's Emperor. There is that one toucan from Saria. From the other event. And then now there's this bird. All the burbs. Powerful burbs. I ain't surprised. All the birds are powerful in this game. Whenever a bird appears, you know they're important.
How long has it been since we've had a conversation like this? After that little thing you and Mainlander put together. I thought you'd be staying in Colombia, but then I blinked and you were in Sargon. And then who knows where else you went after that. It's a shame. if you worked together with mainlander Celine herself, you could have really done something for Colombia, and then maybe the people wouldn't have needed to wait for a vice president to be born. You wouldn't have come here just to exchange pleasantries, Mr. President. Of course, this is a personal meeting. Where is my father?
Father?
You're holding onto his ashes, the remnants of his soul.
Oh. Oh, Friston. You're the father?
Let me touch him. I never got to meet him, but he is the last thing in this world that has any relation to me. There's also PRTS, your PRTS. We come from the same roots, but now we're drifting apart. I had some words for him. He's gone. Trevor Friston is dead. He's pinned his hopes and dreams on this land, a world that has absolutely nothing to do with his lonely self. Yes. If that's his will, you had better leave. I'll respect his feelings. You'll be able to fix his shattered self faster than the Mainlander Historical Association can. But remember this. We will collate our wills. We will seize the truth of everything. Colombia will become the sword and shield of Terra, just as he wished. This is the best condolence that I, President of Colombia, Mark Max, can offer to a dying era. Friston never wanted a tyrant, Max. Monster, destroy the cameras.
Lively braying.
Let's go.
Aw, he just wanted to see his daddy.
Narcissa, look, how glorious the sky is. My field of research was far from Kristen's, but I must admit this. She has achieved a groundbreaking feat that will instill a fascination in every scientist there is. The scientific blueprint I once described to you is now being displayed to every single person in all its glory. Even those who are ignorant can now bask in the light of science. How blessed they are to be born in this era.
Will there always be someone like you under every dream as big as this one?
What you should be asking is, why must there be people like me to push dreams into this big into reality? The question shall haunt you forever.
I only know how to judge right from wrong, just like what I'm doing to you right now. Yeah, in that case, PRTS would have connection to Priestess, or at the very least, Friston, which would still have connection to the Priestess, I guess, because we all a big happy family.
Thank you, Narcissa. All my ambitions, dreams, and failures are residing within you, for you to make your judgment. So in the end, I will also give you a gift.
Rosmantis turns her head back. Sitting in his wheelchair, Loken has his eyes closed and suddenly passes away. Well... I'm beginning to understand what's going on. You did all these things just to see me, right? You just didn't want to die alone. You want to be remembered by me and live on within me. But no. I came here just to watch you die. Rosmantis takes out her diary from her pocket and writes a line in it. The criminal Loken Williams received the trial he deserved. She stares at the line for a while before putting the diary away. And now, I've forgotten you. I should go find the doctor and Kelsey.
Huff. I should have brought some cigarettes earlier.
Would I make for Loken's conclusion? A lot more chill than I thought it'd be. I kind of expected us to throw him back in prison. Or force him to do some community service or something. But nope, just that. He just goes, "Wish granted." And passes away.
I didn't expect you to be discarded so soon. Goken.
Surely. You know how likable I am. I'm serious. I was ready to fight a legion of power armor to the death, and yet this place is so deserted. Even amusement parks on federal holidays have better security than this.
I'd like to know why myself. Perhaps Dame Kelsey is skilled in the arts of persuasion.
So skilled she managed to convince even the mighty president of the Columbia Union. We're out. Are you alright, Doctor? I'm fine. Just a little dizzy. I'm fine. Deep breaths. We spent too much time underground. Taking in too much information at once is indeed a burden on you. Yes, it is. That's why studying is pain and I don't like studying. My apologies, Doctor. I want to wait a little longer until you're ready to face him, to respond to all the doubts and questions you have about yourself. Ooh, hello? Wait, till I recover my memories? What exactly counts as ready? There's no point in making those sorts of assumptions. What exactly counts as ready?
Dame Kelsey and Dr. Misaki,
You've managed to get considerable time extension. I'm serious about getting my work done, Doctor. Perhaps we should kill Mr. Tin Can here. And now, forget it. That's probably a meaningless act. If Kelsey hit me with monologue jutsu, would I give in because just to end it, or actually convinced by her, depending what she's saying. Though, I'd probably just walk away. There's always the option to walk away. Like heck, when my parents are talking to me, if I don't want to hear what they're saying, I just leave the room. I'm bad. And it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna end the conversation on my own terms. Bye. Without even saying bye, I'm just like, yeah, nope, I'm not a part of this.
the president has rescinded the order, which honestly came as a surprise to me. Madam, fix whatever Hoheok has handed over to you, even though I have no idea what it is or the scope of the damage. Mr. President has given you time. I don't know how long, but when your time's up, we will definitely retrieve what was lost.
Is this a deal?
I suppose, after all. You've abided by our previous agreement, and have indeed helped us a lot in the past few days, so in return you can leave Trimount safely and return to your landship. As for the doctor, you've already spent 3 days with the Colombian Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Arts Units, and Originium, and I don't think Rose Island would want an updated criminal record. And as for Hoheok, for the time being, I only ask this. Is she currently a collaborator of Rhode Island's?
I guess. Can we say no? No, she is! I summoned her. Rhodes Island will need her help. After all, she also made contact with the truth, so I can't just ignore her. Thank you, Kelsey. Dame Kelsey. And the doctor as well.
She's on your reputations now. Well then, goodbye.
I'll rate you two. We'll go meet with Rosmontis and Ifrit, and then leave Trimounts. How was my work vacation from Colombia? Well, I myself just had to babysit the kids at first. And then I danced with Muses for a bit. Then I was kicked out. Then I went underground. Met my family at an awkward family reunion. Watched like my great uncle go cray-cray and kind of like pass away. And then, now I'm back up here and I adopted Hoheok. My end was pretty chill overall. Doctor, what are you looking at? Bubbles. You suddenly noticed that despite the considerable night breeze present, the mud in front of you holds a tiny pool of bubbles yet to evaporate. The sporadic bubbles meander forward like a series of extremely light footsteps. Yes, bubbles. You look into the distance and discover that the skies of Trimounts in the moment before dawn is full of fragile bubbles. Kelsey, I'm going to go look for someone first. Rhine Lab Headquarters, Building Vivarium. You feel as if you just entered the bottom of a lake. There is no one, only a dense light blue and the soft sound of water. A huge glass ring divides the entire place in two. Other than the narrow corridor of the outside, the rest of the vivarium has been entirely flooded like a lake. All the land plants are swaying as if they belonged in water. You recall the vitality of your last visit here. But right now, you can only hear their weak breathing. All the different plants. A bubble floats from the pale fur and is rocked by the current, looking as if it could pop at any time and disappear without a trace. Milces? Gurgled. Did I wake you up, Milces? You don't have to show yourself, Milces. Did I wake you up? Doctor, why have you come? I'm not here to take you to task. Your arts are going to turn Trimonts into the capital Bubbles. Bubbles. Didn't expect you to see that. It was such a sorry sight, huh? Yes, I failed. Doctor, you didn't get into the Galera Stellaria, but I also got shut out. I even almost killed Saria. And the only thing I managed to do was try to save a handful of people. I already know what happened up there, so you don't have to say any more. Gurgled. You're weak, Milces. Don't speak anymore, Milces. Yeah, you don't need to say anything else. I pumped out all the water from my body and expected myself to evaporate. But I only had a short and shallow sleep and didn't even get to finish my dream. I can't even kill myself. Before you came in, I think I was leaving the orphanage in Trenton with a kid version of myself. I think I saw Milces crouching next to a pale fir tree, tidying up the graves of my parents and my kin that I've never met. I wanted to reach out and pat her on the shoulder. I think I met a Milces who had just left Sami. Her hair was wet from the morning mist, and she wasn't even holding her usual parasol. And it was so cold. Her neck was tucked in, and her head drooping. I've never seen myself so dispirited. Were your people living in the forest of Sami? You saw other elves? Yep. When Rhineland began their scientific investigation section and started the Sami exploration project, their footprints made it all the way into the ice fields in the remote north. I made a private request to Maggie. When Maggie contacted me, this place had just been built. This tiny vivarium that shouldn't even exist on Terra is an elvish garden. I found them following the coordinates Maggie sent me. Deep in the forest in the middle of Sami, remote and cold, that bed of soil was locked up by the marsh and ice fields, far from civilization. A place you could hardly consider a paradise for elves. I saw a tree towering over the woodland, no different from what the other people of Sami live in and revere. But after just a few steps forward, I saw the true home of nearly 100 elves. An endless hollow beneath the tree has its thick branches entangling one another. An ecosphere woven into the roots as if it was encased in amber. To think there was such a settlement for the elves on Terra. You want to persuade them to leave? Were they unwilling to leave their home? I want to see that. That sounds cool. The ultimate treehouse. I don't know, Doctor. I couldn't even ask them a question like that. They were not hostile at me, but I had no way of integrating into their society, not because of my metropolitan fit, but there was something natural separating us. We looked similar and faced the same struggle, were clearly alike, and yet we're also complete strangers to one another. We had no way of understanding or communicating with each other, like two waves on completely different frequencies. Doctor, I walked so far, and finally found a tiny patch of forest in the endless ice fields of Sami. But I'm not a leaf from a tree. I'm just a drop of water. The elf leans against the pale fir, her hair moving with the topmost branches of the tree to the current. You can't make out her expression. but you still want to move with the vivarium into the Galeria Stellaria. But you still want to follow Kristen beyond the star pod. I needed to hold on to something, but Kristen abandoned me, abandoned everyone, and the so-called future that she left for us. Kristen disbanded the components control section, and Sari was thrown out of the Galeria into deep space and almost turned herself into dust. The possibility I was pursuing has also been proven impossible. Dorothy got herself into trouble because of the stuff at Site 359. Ferdinand has thrown himself into the army. And Parvis, that old goat seems to have died too. I can only reminisce about things that have already turned into bubbles. To me, they were once as precious as the fresh air with hardly any originium dust. They kept me from being so lonely. Doctor, if I was destined to always be alone, and if discovering and resisting this thing called fate still only leaves me all alone, does that mean I'll never be able to rid myself of it?
You're not alone, Mumu. You have me by your side. We shall be together.
You attempt to get closer to Mulces, but through the glass in the dense lake, she still seems to be far away. I bid farewell to someone before coming here. Who? A friend. A stranger. Well, I just met him, so to me he's a stranger. Sorry to him. Sorry, Friston. A stranger? But you said farewell earlier. There aren't many people that hold your interest, Doctor. Just what kind of person were they? He was my kin. I guess he's like my uncle or something, but I don't know. Kin? Then did they leave Trimount to go back to your homeland? You know, I was actually really curious about where you came from. I did some investigating, and the other time I snuck into Rhodes Island, I even tried looking for your files, but I found nothing. Is that because it's a secret? Or have you also been trying to find the answer? Just like me. Perhaps. What do you think? Well, perhaps. I want to know, when you met your kin, do you still remember what you were feeling then?
I felt nothing.
Did you recognize each other easily? Could you understand each other? Could you provide comfort for each other's suffering?
Well, I did not recognize them. Did I understand them? Yes, I did. Could I provide comfort for each other's suffering? Not really. But we could understand each other. That's the one thing.
I never thought he would exist.
He never thought I would exist. Well, I never thought he would exist.
I was unprepared. I understood some of his answers, but my bewilderment only grew. In the end, I only had enough time to see him off. No wonder you look so exhausted, Doctor. You stop moving, and Miosis looks into your eyes through the glass, across the still water. So you also get lonely, Dr. Misaki. Frequently. ... Occasionally.
Not really. I'm fine with being on my own. I'll just say occasionally.
Then, have you ever wavered in your resolve? Will you doubt the significance of certain things because of it? Rhodes Island, the operators and friends by your side, the person who you forget but still have been searching for? And yourself?
Gurgle.
Doctor, this vivarium will shut down soon, so you should get out of here. You finally find the switch, and the glass layer opens in response, but the lake without its banks does not pour out. Every drop of water held still by an invisible force. Like a bubble about to pop, Violf is about to escape into the leaves of the pale fir tree. You step into it.
Girl, I ain't leaving you.
You'll drown. Don't worry about me. I just want to sleep in a bit more, a bit longer. Before I came here, I was asked a similar question. My answer was, and is, just as I always have been. Being alone is a type of strength, Mule says. Even even a machine-like person can be submerged in such an emotion. You will be sad, you'll reminisce, you'll worry. And in the long term, it might not even improve. But it is indeed a kind of power. Every life experience that eventually fades away will still hold some meaning. I remember you said before that you don't like being peppered with such questions. But I will still hold out my hand, Mulsis. How was my heart-to-heart between me and Mulsis? Well, never mind. I was gonna say it's still ongoing, but no, I think it just ended. We are bonding. So to the future, the only certain thing is that we must keep moving forward. I'm sorry, Mulsis. You loved Kristen and Saria, but Kristen wants to do her own thing. Saria is with Silence and Ifrit. But you got me, Mulsis. Take me. Accept my friendship. I like how I went after her. That's fun.
I heard that prisons in Max DC have regulations banning any sharp objects, including pens. You're breaking the rules.
I like how they're roommates now. Prison mates.
They don't allow sunglasses either, Blake. I told you not to bother me when we got thrown in here together. I have important work that needs doing. And you've had a stellar record the past few days. So I hope you can keep it up. Damn it, I used up all the draft paper. Wait, I can still write in the back. Blake, help me out and ask a warden for some more. Columbian Academia will thank you for your contribution. What the hell are you doing? There's no way you think we'll get to live, Ferdinand. Colombian law has never been lenient, so you can't just wait quietly for... can't you just wait quietly for the end to come? If you want to keep busy, why not think about your last meal? You wasted 2 minutes of my time, Blake. Which step was I at? Planning out your last meal. You think you're so funny, huh? You have no idea how significant my work is. Over the next century, any researcher arrogantly trying to step into the field of high-energy physics in vain will have to engrave my theories into their mind. They will praise my name, regard me as a king, as a prophet. Death, so what if I die? Just you wait, Kristen. You think you're so amazing? It's Ferdinand Clooney who has brought the truth back down to the ground, you idiot!
Oh, look, Mr. Junior's here.
I'm glad to see you so hell and healthy, sir. Of course, it's all thanks to you. A few days ago, I heard some terrible rumors about tri-mounts, but that's all in the past. I'm grateful that our Columbia has so many outstanding law enforcement personnel just like you. I hear you're about to be promoted even. Being a state attorney will bring out the best in you. It's honestly nothing compared to your business. Ryan Lab has expanded its technological investments and purchased more than a dozen labs in various fields. I used to not care about financial news at all. But now with a friend like you, Justin Jr., I have to do more than just steer at these cast iron railings in a daze like I did before.
Am I fine with Ferdinand picking up Ryan Lab together with Sari and possibly Silence of what Kristen left? Is he doing that? I think he's just writing notes. He's in prison. Unless Justin Jr. is about to break him out, then my answer will change. But right now I feel like he's just doing his thing. He's like, I will be known. I want to be famous. Gosh darn it. It's like, sorry, Ferdinand. But you're gonna be stuck with Blake unless Mr. Justin Jr. breaks you out.
I'll give you some stock tips. I'm glad to see you taking fate into your own hands. But I did come here in proper business this time. Those two, I've already got the orders from above. Go ahead, Justin Jr.
Ah. I should have read a little bit more before talking.
Just as before, it's been nice to be working with you. Likewise. I have one more question. Which one did you want out? Just like before, madmen and freaks.
I feel like he's not gonna bring, or if Ferdinand's out of prison, he's not gonna meet up with Saria and Silence. He's just gonna do it on his own. You're here, Nasty.
An interim meeting notice sent out by the already dissolved Components Control Section. It's only been 2 weeks, and they've already reorganized Rhine Lab.
It's not just Rhine Lab, Bulwark, Kuczynski, and Beachbrella too. The top tech companies in the city have all received notices and sent their representatives here. Who do you think organized this meeting?
We'll know in just a moment. Don't lead your head towards me. I don't want my shoulders to get wet.
Nasty wrinkles her brows slightly, and the dead branch-like device around her waist suddenly extends. The moment it touches Milces, the other party disappears from sight, as if a bubble had just popped.
Seems like you've recovered quickly enough to have the strength for this little trick of yours, Milces.
Dehydration isn't a serious thing to me, and it's not difficult to treat either.
I mean, your mental state. I thought you would be at a complete collapse, hiding in a forest to cry.
A friend talked me through it, told me every life experience that eventually fades away will still hold some meaning. Aw yeah, I am the emotional support doctor.
You're still as emotional as ever, needing others to soothe you.
No, Nasty. I just calmed down and figured out something I had overlooked before. The person appearing here at your side right now is, of course, the director of the Rhine Lab Ecological Section, the youngest and leading authority on ecology in Rhine Lab.
And that means...
Kristen passed on to me the biological data from the Galera Stellaria's vivarium. None of the 753 plants survived. But before that, they managed to survive past the barrier and not die immediately after breaking through the star pod. It's a height that Terrans never imagined a life could reach. What a gratifying experiment result. Nasty, I know what your dream is.
Speaks in sarcasm. The Sarkaz's promised land could also be in the sky.
You must have collected the data encompassing the entire duration of the Galeria's launch in the skies, right?
Well, I was standing close enough that day. The fireworks from the energy sputtering everywhere was very much resembled the sparks generated from the gears of the future turning.
So you're saying that's enough to propel yourself back into research on many more platforms that'll be bigger and more stable? Or does it mean you've already begun?
That was a rudimentary prototype of a city. No one ever said that nomadic cities could only crawl on the ground.
And me, I can fill the city up with life. So now our goals are aligned. To use your words, we're now going the same way. Oh, this is a cute partnership. I like this. Let's go. The meeting's about to start. Nasty will provide the spaceship, while Ulysses will provide the oxygen and food.
Olivia Silence. Authentication complete. Please proceed. Saria. Authentication complete. Please proceed.
Silence and Saria walk through the long corridor, one after another, neither of them speaking a word, both of them enveloped in quietude. They stop at the door of the conference room.
Saria, ask anything you have on your mind. Are you really ready? I thought you've already thought this through while you were recovering.
If Saria intends to move up in rank, she'll have a similar role to Saria in terms of not taking it too far and guiding it. Yeah, they're both strict parents after all. And based on what they're doing, they both wanna put a damper on some people's fun. Like, literally, both of their sides of the story. Saria to Kristen, I'm here to stop you from doing your thing, from reaching your dream. And then Silence to Parvis. Like, how dare you, old man, I'm here to stop you. Science exists to transform society. This I don't doubt one bit. Likewise, I can also confirm the significance of Control's actions. There is no researcher that hasn't been stunned by the tear in the sky. But the real question we actually face is, what now? There's a rip in the sky and the truth has emerged before everyone's eyes, and there is no reason to ignore its existence. But even if we all raise our heads, it doesn't mean the problems under our feet will simply disappear. In science, once the current understanding of something has been toppled, the pace of progress will not be suspended, but accelerated. Countless construction has been declared failures, while new fantasies have emerged, but scientists will eagerly tear down every cloud in the sky, and the ordinary people busying their lives will be soaked by the rain the entire time. This is how reality is, and we can only accept it. It is inevitable to make sacrifices in the pursuit of dreams. We've heard enough phrases like these. There is no reality impossible to change, and no sacrifice justifiable. If most people can only be compelled to choose between dreams or reality, then I must become the bridge between the two. Ethical reviews, capital supervision, project evaluation. I will tighten the reins of order. I will use methods all matter of scientists will think pedantic and cumbersome to restrict them all. I will become a monitor, a buffer zone, a railroad switch. In short, I'm well qualified to be a villain. Legit villain. I will see to it that science becomes a clear, incisive look at every one of us. Silence is probably what Saria hoped within Kristen when they made Ryan Lab. Kind of. Well, she already knew Kristen, like, truly, because they were friends. Like, she knew Kristen was always gonna do the thing, like, deep down. But Saria probably prefers someone like Silence. Like, these two, I feel like, have more chemistry. Just because of, like, their similar interests. Silence. I don't know how exactly you managed to drum up support enough to change Tri-Mount scientific and technological communities, but you should know this. No matter the power of the government or mainlander, they chose you not for your worries and zeal. I know, but if our goals are aligned, I'm willing to accept it. Silence grabs the door handle. She stops suddenly and turns to look at Saria. Her gaze burns, and for a moment, Saria almost wants to run from it. Surely, you haven't forgotten, Saria. This is exactly what you wanted to do before. If you're hesitant, if you've given up, then I will do it. Dozens of eyes focus on her. To be honest, such a feeling of being noticed by everyone is not so pleasant to experience. Silence takes a deep breath and responds to those expressions of surprise, astonishment, and ridicule one by one. After a long moment of time, she steps inside. And there she be. Hello everyone. My name is Olivia Silence, sponsor of the Tri-Mount Ethics and Scientific Research Joint Declaration. I stand here today because... I like how we just skipped the speech. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, back then. I merely provided Miss Penny with an audition opportunity in Rankwood. It truly is nothing compared to the help you've provided us this time. Yes, that girl most probably has I mean, that girl is most probably just about to drown in the drool of various company representatives. I do hope she will be able to handle the situation. After all, this will be the new normal for her in the future. Such worries are indeed superfluous. These youths are indeed not lacking in courage, and they always run so fast. All we can do is accompany them on their journey. Huh. You're absolutely right. I've become an old lady who loves to worry. A golf game next month? Sorry, but I don't think I'll be able to join you this time. Yes, Mr. Chairman. I no longer have a reason to remain with Ryan Lab, and besides, I'm well past my retirement age. This should be a long and extensive vacation. I'm so sorry, Miss Jara. I've gone the wrong way. I just asked the nearby residents, and if we change direction now, we might still be able to make it to the nearest nomadic city for a pit stop. It's fine. Just continue driving this way. Huh? That'll delay your itinerary. I just flipped through the geographical magazine in this car, and if you continue this way for 10 more kilometers, there should be a winery up ahead. The magazine says the wines there have an exceptional texture. The winery insists on a limited supply to only specific distributors, and for decades has refused to expand the scale of their vineyard. So I'm curious. Exceptional texture to a drink? I imagine liquid just being liquid. The people here have been so antsy lately, over that Ryan Lab incident, so I thought you wanted to get out Trimon's ASAP. No one would give a retiree a hard time. Besides, just look at the wonderful scenery we have here. A wind blows from far away, and Jara adjusts her glasses, lifting her gaze onto the sky. The clouds are moving quickly, and a single star faintly appears amidst the twilight. The sky appears as lofty as ever. After a long time, she gently waves her hand. The driver thinks she was calling to him, and quickly opens the door for her. Safe travels. Let's go. Oh gosh. Ryan's lab's gonna be interesting with the two strictest people in charge. Galeria Solaria, service cabin, shutting down. Kristen's having her stroll. Galeria Solaria, observation bridge, shutting down. Galeria Solaria, vivarium, shutting down. "5 days, 8 hours, and 43 minutes. According to Terra's time, after breaking through the barrier, the Galeria is persisting beyond my expectations. Not long after, these cabins condensing the most advanced science and technology on Terra will be reduced to dust. The Galeria Stellaria was never equipped with the technology and conditions required for interstellar travel. I still remember Friston scoffing at Nasti's plans when she handed them over. And now, I will lie down in the life support hibernation pod that Loken developed. We could never simulate the actual environment back on the ground, so I'm not exactly how long I can survive. Oh, she has a pod. Did I see messages at the start of the stream? If you mean on, comments on YouTube, yes. And yeah, that's fine. Galeria Stellaria, planetarium, shutting down. The entire Galeria Stellaria shut down. The life support hibernation pod will activate in 5 minutes. Please be seated at once. The universe. The first time I learned of this concept from Friston, I had no way of envisioning how encompassing, boundless, magnificent, beautiful, and touching it could be. It stretches past our horizons, exceeding what we have constructed with our barren imaginations, beyond what words can describe. A pity I can only record my words as an audio file. From what I can see through this boundless curtain that has made it difficult to discern any colors, our Terra is surrounded by stardust, with no fulcrum or rope supporting it as it rotates on its own and by itself. The stars blend into one another, and any measurement of distance, size, or shape is meaningless. This universe is so deep that it makes you speechless. It makes you feel a deep sense of awe. As I observe with just the naked eye, the stars look similar to Terra. These were once in our visions, merely decorations dotting the night sky, but they share the same existence as us. Perhaps life also exists on them, the same flames of love and hate, terrible disasters, grand plans and romance, as well as mundane struggles and persistence, going on stage over and over again. Their history written by the creation and destruction of their civilizations, with innumerable magnificent miracles, names that shine, and bloated titles added onto the footnotes before they all return to dust. Do they know a universe exists? And are there enemies or neighbors we can get along with? If it's possible, perhaps, everyone should try to understand us from this position, to understand the land, sky, and sea we rely on to live. To understand where exactly we are in the history of humanity, and where exactly the entire history belongs in the universe. Only then will we be qualified to consider what direction to head in. The life support hibernation pod will close in 1 minute. Please be seated immediately. Repeat. The life support hibernation pod will close in 1 minute. Please be seated immediately. Pre-hibernation record. Vital signs are normal. Emotions are relatively stable. It is truly gratifying to see that all the plants here are still alive. A pity that Mulesis has no way to obtain these data. Throughout Kristen's entire life, there's only been 2 times where she felt truly alive. The first time, Saria, when I brought you back to my hometown, on that hillside where I told you about the beginning of everything. The second time is now, as I have just realized, mine and my parents' dream. Whatever happens next is merely the start of a continuation. On a clear night, find a spot with a wide and open view, and set up a telescope. There will be a single star twinkling for you in the sky. Well then, good night, Terra. Though hey, the plants are alive. Good night, universe. If in a century or millennium our descendants walk among the stars, the masses will sing her praises. Yeah, I doubt we'll be able to see her again on Terra unless it crashes and then she somehow, like, does not go poof during a crash. Who are you? A guardian lacking any purpose, watching over our kin, brothers and compatriots who will never wake up. What are these? Life support devices far beyond what your comprehension. They do not rely on the originium you're familiar with, but tens of thousands of years is enough to wear them down to nothing. And now they are merely coffins for the deceased just like in the olden days. Why do you seem so close to humanity? In our darkest days, it was only human nature that let us avert a much more complete destruction. Though, this means nothing but endless torment for me. Is the sky false? Not exactly. A barrier makes Terra incapable of charging between the stars. The light has been distorted accordingly, preventing people from ever understanding the true implications of their world. Only the stars are beyond any doubt. They exist. What does the universe look like? An interesting question. When any creature capable of capturing light turns its head to the sky, it will be subdued by an endless ocean of stars, anonymous, magnificent, beautiful. But in my eyes, the void merely means ruin and a chilling desolation. Are the stars just like Terra? No, Terra is rather small compared to them. Even stars tens of millions of times bigger than Terra, like star number 4, would completely disappear into the gigantic black hole of the Zobaid Nebula. And the satellite arrays outside Talos can even manipulate the geographical properties of a planet like this. Why do the Sancta have halos and wings? A nicey chain of command gives them an identity. It is dangerous to start a machine lacking any self-awareness in the name of God, a god, to fulfill a mission it cannot even understand. Have you ever seen a burden beast? The creatures known to you as burden beasts have not changed too drastically in the course of evolution. Their tenacity is as durable as the planet itself. People should treat them with more humility and respect. What is it like to travel by sea? I can only tell you what a simulation feels like. Flying across the ocean of a planet is just like wrapping yourself in a blue silk scarf, and yet the bright blue is always fleeting. Kristen, say your piece. After knowing all this, do you still intend on gambling with your life to tear open the sky? Terra is ill-prepared, and your death will be without meaning or reason. Allow me to ask you a final question to serve as my answer. Ask your question. Our careers, cities, homes, art, as well as our cruel history, suffering, war, catastrophe, and the arrogance that destroys everything, trends of thought and ideals, greatness granted by others and equally gifted from birth, the civilization born on this tiny patch of wilderness, and everything that we have ever loved without compare. What do they inevitably mean? And what is that? And what is it that life ultimately seeks? Oh, that's cool how N feels when it's Talos too. And A, I got the future. Hoo 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 hoo. I got to the 2 interludes, or the 2 ending parts. Woohoo! I feel successful. Yeah, that was good. I just gotta 3-star the rest of the stages. Oh gosh. But that's fine, and finish getting all my special ops permits to unlock stuff. But yay, I am proud, and in the, in the mood of Thanksgiving. Sorry, I'm just checking my phone right now. I want to see if I can gift from my phone. Don't mind me trying a thingy. Will it let me gift stuff on my phone? Or will I have to use a computer? Oh man, is it really gonna make me use my computer? That's kind of lame. Okay, let me go back to my computer then. Wait, the thoughts on the notes that you sent? Wait, is it on Twitter or on YouTube? Because if it's on Twitter, I did not check that. But if it be on YouTube, that I can see right now. Eee! Okay, pause that. And let's see. Now that I'm on my computer. Oh, now I can do the thing. Okay. But yeah, I was gonna be like, in the name of Thanksgiving. From today and I guess, let's see. Another day this week. I'll do at least 2 times this week. Because why not?
In the name of gifting.
Let's do this. Boop. Ah, I keep on forgetting my security code. I gotta go to my app, my card. Me. Good thing that's easy to find. Thank you, phone, for being convenient, since I don't got my card on me. I don't carry that everywhere. Let's see. Log me in slowly. For Kristen, I am happy for her. I'm proud of her. She did the thing she wanted, and I like that. I would have been sad if we stopped her. But no, since we did not stop her, I think that's good. I would have been upset if we actually stopped her. And there, I did the thing. Gave a gift. Yay, it worked. Woohoo! Oh, I'm so happy it actually worked. If it didn't work, I would have been sad. But yay. You're welcome, you're welcome. I'm happy that it did the thing. But yes, and then in the gift-giving mood, foo, why not, right? Yay. But oh man, I'm so happy that that I get to like rest tomorrow. Actually, no, it's not gonna be that much resting because Dad bought he's planning on making a lot of food. I don't know why he wants to make ham and turkey. To me, it's okay to just make one. He wants to make, like for tomorrow's meal, let me think of what it's gonna be. Ham, turkey, I think there's gonna be, of course, either sweet potato or yam, depending on what he can get. There's gonna be custard pie, pumpkin pie. What else is there? Stuffing. Probably gravy, of course. I'm gonna guess rice. And lots of other stuff. So tomorrow's gonna be insane, but you know, it's fun. It's gonna be worth it. I'm just gonna hope my bros do all the work if they're gonna have to help cook and clean. I'm just gonna be the taste tester. Okay, fine, I'll actually do some other stuff too, but then I mainly want my job to be the taste tester. I volunteer as that. I will be quality control. That is a good job, don't you think? Rice, that's the best one, of course. And yeah, since Kristen's in hibernation, I could imagine her being in Enfield. I hope she gets a good role in there if she does appear. Like, come on. Let me summon Kristen there. If I can't summon her in this Arknights, at least let me get her in Enfield. I will simp for Kristen. I, too, want to be a part of Kristen's crew. Like, yay, Kristen, I like you. So I'm excited for Enfield when that comes out. I will eventually play it. And by that time, I'll have so much more time for other games. Foo. I'll be caught up with Arknights regular. I'll be caught up with Fate Grand Order. And other stuff. I believe. Yes, I believe indeed. So that's gonna be exciting. Once that eventually comes out. Though yeah, it's actually kind of early, so I get a decent dinner time. I'm actually eating dinner before my usual time, so I'm kind of proud. I'll have a 9 p.m. dinner, basically, because it's only 8:54 p.m. And yes, that's gonna be another stream for later. But with that being said, thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day in Epic Gacha Luck. I'm gonna see what there is. I know there's meat. I smelled meat cooking earlier, and I like meat. Meat is good. Meat is love. Meat is life. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Boop.